MSU Mankato announced a partnership with South Central College to offer a new program. It aims to benefit students pursuing a career in agriculture. Aaron Stuvey explains what this means for prospective students.
A new option for people looking to enter the agricultural workforce. Monday saw MSU Mankato and South Central College announce the new School of Applied Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources. The new school will prepare students for the industrial and innovation side of the ag industry and will see a 2+2 agreement between the schools, with students completing an Associate of Applied Science and Agribusiness degree at South Central being able to transfer directly into the Agronomy Bachelor's program at MSU. Leaders at MSU say that the partnership is meant to keep students in town that would otherwise leave to complete the degree elsewhere.
A lot of students that leave to attend their schooling will find positions elsewhere out of the state. So if they go to South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, they likely won't come back to the state. So we're hoping that if they stay close, they stay within the system, they stay within our communities, that they'll stay here more permanently.
The program has been in the works for some time, with some students at South Central College and some incoming students already signed up for the new program. Those students say that the opportunity to finish their degree where they started was a pivotal part in deciding on their academic future.
It's an hour within my hometown, which is originally one of the reasons why I chose South Central. It's close to my hometown. I could continue to do farm stuff at home while going to college and getting an education. So this 4-year degree kind of allows me to do that, opposed to going to somewhere like SDSU.
In Mankato, Aaron Stuvey, KEYC News Now.